Book of Heaven, Volume 17, December 24th, 1924. The pain of death was the first pain which Jesus suffered at his conception, and which lasted for his whole life. In the Incarnation, God placed himself at the mercy of his creatures. Firmness in operating. My days are ever more sorrowful. I am under the hard press of the hard privation of my sweet Jesus, which is upon me like a deadly iron to kill me continuously. But as it is about to arm the last blow in order to finish it, it leaves it suspended above my head, and I await this last blow like a relief to go to my Jesus, but I wait in vain, and I feel my poor soul, and also my nature, being consumed and melted. Ah, my great sins do not make me deserve to die. What pain! What a long agony! Oh, please, my Jesus, have pity on me. You who are the only one who knows my harrowing state, do not abandon me, do not leave me at the mercy of myself. Now, while I was in this state, I felt I was outside of myself within a most pure light, and in this light I could see the Queen Mama and the little baby Jesus inside her virginal womb. Oh, God, in what a sorrowful state was my lovable little baby. His little humanity was immobilized. His little feet and hands were immobile, without the slightest motion. There was no room either to open his eyes or to breathe freely. His immobility was such that he seemed to be dead while he was alive. I thought to myself, who knows how much my Jesus suffers in this state, and how much his beloved Mama suffers in seeing baby Jesus so immobilized within her very womb. Now, while I was thinking of this, my tiny little baby, sobbing, said to me,
"My daughter, the pains I suffered in this virginal womb of my mama are incalculable to the human mind. But do you know what the first pain was, which I suffered in the first act of my conception, and which lasted for my life? The pain of death. My divinity descended from heaven as fully happy, untouchable, by any pain and by any death. When I saw my little humanity being subject to death and to pains for love of creatures, I felt the pain of death so vividly that I really would have died of sheer pain if the power of my divinity had not sustained me with a prodigy, making me feel the pain of death and the continuation of life. So for me it was always death. I felt the death of sin, the death of good in the creatures, and also their natural death. What a cruel torment this was for me during my whole life. I, who contained life and was the absolute Lord of life itself, was to subject myself to the pain of death. Don't you see my little humanity immobile and dying in the womb of my dear Mama? And don't you yourself feel, within yourself, how hard and excruciating is the pain of feeling oneself dying without dying? My daughter, it is your living in my will that makes you share in the continuous death of my humanity."
So I spent almost the whole morning close to my Jesus inside the womb of my Mama, and I saw that, as he was in the act of dying, he would regain life, to then abandon himself to dying again. What pain to see baby Jesus in that state. Then after this, at night, I was thinking about the act in which the sweet little baby came out of the maternal womb to be born into our midst. My poor mind wandered within a mystery so profound and all love, and my sweet Jesus, moving in my interior, stretched out his little hands to embrace me and said to me,
"My daughter, the act of my birth was the most solemn act of the whole creation. Heaven and earth felt plunged into the most profound adoration at the sight of my little humanity, which kept my divinity as though enclosed within walls. So, in the act of my birth, there was an act of silence and of profound adoration and prayer. My Mama prayed, and remained enraptured by the power of the prodigy which was coming out of her. Saint Joseph prayed, the angels prayed, and all creation felt the strength of the love of my creative power being renewed upon them. All felt honored and received true honor, because the one who had created them would make use of them for what was needed for his humanity. The sun felt honored in having to give its light and heat to its creator. It recognized the one who had created it, its true Lord, and made feast for him and paid him honor by giving him its light. The earth felt honored when it felt me lying in a manger. It felt touched by my tender limbs and exulted with joy with prodigious signs. All creation saw their true King and Lord in their midst, and feeling honored, each one wanted to perform its office for me. The water wanted to quench my thirst. The birds, with their trills and warblings, wanted to cheer me. The wind wanted to caress me. The air wanted to kiss me. All wanted to pay me their innocent tribute. Only men, ungrateful, even though all felt something unusual within themselves, a joy, a powerful strength, were reluctant, and suffocating everything, they did not move. And even though I called them with tears, with moans and sobs, they did not move, except for some few shepherds. Yet it was for man that I was coming upon earth. I was coming to give myself to him, to save him, and to bring him back to my celestial fatherland. Therefore, I was all eyes to see whether he would come before me in order to receive the great gift of my divine and human life. So the Incarnation was nothing less than placing myself at the mercy of the creature. In the Incarnation, I placed myself at the mercy of my dear Mama. As I was born, Saint Joseph too was added, to whom I gave the gift of my life. And since my works are eternal and not subject to ending, this divinity, this Word who descended from heaven, never withdrew from the earth, so as to have the occasion to give himself continuously to all creatures. As long as I lived, I gave myself in an unveiled manner. Then, a few hours before dying, I made the great prodigy of leaving myself in the sacrament, so that whoever wanted me could receive the great gift of my life. I paid no attention either to the offenses they would give me, or to their refusals to receive me. I said to myself, I have given myself, I do not want to withdraw ever. Let them do to me whatever they want. I will always be theirs and at their disposal. Daughter, this is the nature of true love, of the operating as God, firmness, and not to withdraw at the cost of any sacrifice. This firmness in my works is my victory and the greatest glory of mine, and this is the sign to know whether the creature operates for God. Firmness. The soul looks no one in the face, neither pains, nor herself, nor self-esteem, nor creatures, even though it may cost her her life. She looks only to God, for love of whom she set herself to operate, and she feels victorious in offering the sacrifice of her life for love of him. Not being firm is of the human nature and of the human way of operating. Not being firm is the operating of passions, and with passion. Mutability is weakness, it is cowardice, and it is not of the nature of true love. Therefore, firmness must be the guide in operating for me. So in my works I never change, whatever the events might be. Once it is done forever.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring his kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.